Hey, Dan, say something.
Hello there.
Dan has a habit of not turning his microphone on. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's not forget we're back in Santa Monica, so it is 383 days since we could draw on the map. We've passed a year. At the major, it was 365 days, and then it was more than that. So who knows? Who knows? One day, maybe. One
Have
day.
you
We
thought
sincerely hope.
about, since you can't do it yourself, to maybe remake this TV and you can sit here and you can draw on that?
That would be cool, but it's not just about me. It's the thing. It's about everybody, man. It's like people like
I know,
Sean
share the
Grills, like,
wealth.
hey, hey guys, Sean here. You know, making the videos, talking about strats people are trying to do, but not being able to like illustrate it. And sure, you can get things that are outside the game, but you shouldn't have to
Yep.
do that. It should be in the
I
game.
agree. Let's bring it back.
Yeah. See, Robin wants it back. How can you
No, but
say
I mean,
no now?
it was very useful, right?
Yeah.
There's really no. The only downside that we were talking about was essentially like if you don't want other people to be able to draw on your map, but why can't you just disable that? You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you don't want it, just have an option you can disable it.
Yeah. But
It's a positive thing to have in the game because, like you're saying, let's say you're trying to explain something rather than just explaining, being able to just pinpoint on the map instead of just saying, "Hey, type kill," and I'm gonna run over there instead. You can just write.
Yeah. Imagine
Yeah.
if you had in free times, you could draw stuff for your teammates.
Yeah.
And then you could have like one guy selected as the IGL or something, and or maybe you could have like Dota, like the builds. You know, like
Yeah, but you
have,
can
like,
even have
community
icons for
builds
flashbangs and
and you
stuff
could
like
like
that.
have a round setup and stuff.
I
Yeah.
do think it's gonna
All
come
sorts of
back,
stuff.
but I do think they are hopefully making it a little bit better. So it's not just that you can just write on it. You can add like an icon for
Yeah.
flashbang, smokes, and whatever. I think would be cool.
There must be so much old. There's so much old code in there. It's gonna be a nightmare.
But with the exploits recently, there are lots of like Quake commands in there, right?
Well, I mean, it's just it's like from the idTech 1 engine. So I mean, it's had so many iterations since then. But imagine if you. That's the thing. Like for example, one of the best optimized like AAA titles I've seen was like The Witcher 3, and that's because they purpose built the engine for their game. Very few people actually purpose build engines for their games. So then you get all this old code left in there, and you have to kind of like work out what's going on. I'm not a coder, I'm not a programmer, but I would imagine that's difficult and annoying to deal with someone else's bad code or not understanding the code before.
We've seen some issues with those codes and causing exploits and crashing servers and so on, which at least twice, someone out there is just going through every single command and be like, what can I crash if I do this? You know, because there's been like 2 in the last month, I would say, during the major as well, where they were you know, servers, matchmaking servers and so on are being crashed. So, but those were fixed, but who knows how many more are in there. That's all ain't good, but I just want to be able to draw the map for the sake of everybody, you know. Everybody.
For the people.
For the people, yeah.
Just
the people. It's got to be someone's got to be the people's champion, and we've even built a clock for it, so can't deny that. Dust 2 is over. We're going to Inferno now.
Yep.
We don't know what to expect from Virtus.pro. I'm actually curious what kind of odds Pinnacle have now in this situation, because I think it's quite in the dark. I mean, maybe there's some games that they've played at some lower level, but I don't know how much you can read into that. Did Fnatic win their game? Fnatic were playing off stream. Oh, okay. Well, okay, 1.295. Those are very specific odds.
I was gonna say, like, it's kind of weird that the other one's not 4 digits as well, but
3.63. So they're going up again. So again, we've got the juicy odds for Virtus.pro. There is juice to be had, and the thing is, again, in the dark, I feel like perhaps it is worth a punt. Perhaps it's worth a punt on Virtus.pro. I think
there's definitely upset potential for what we've seen from both of the teams so far. I mean, they could have also won Dust 2, so I think that now coming into third on Inferno, it is a little bit more tactical in that sense, and I think that Avangar plays this map pretty well. It is going to be exciting for me to at least see what VP does decide to do on their T sides. I think it will heavily revolve on them having their executes in order. But I also haven't watched VP in a while, so it is a little bit exciting to see what they have in running. Because, I mean, they do know how to play, right? We saw both Mirage and Dust 2. The tendencies, the T side was actually not that bad, but it was those minor mistakes, the retakes, the afterplants. It needed some work.
Yeah, I think there's... I think with the fashion in which the format has, like, in terms of how teams can qualify and so on, I think you can get a perfect storm. Force some opportunity if you are a shrewd gambler to find an opening. So I'm interested to see. But more than that, I just want to see a strong Virtus.pro. I want to see a Virtus.pro that shows some promise, and because people want to see these players and the team and the brand do better and kind of find a way to go back up again, and we're still waiting to see that. You know, many players have departed, but some still remain, and the new players like Mihu on the team and Snatchy and so on are pretty strong players as well. So I want to see some success. I want to see them competing. I want to see them competing for invitations to those lands, the likes of which Avangar are fighting for now as well.
And considering as well, I feel like for VP, for me, it's completely revamp of the roster in the sense of there's not a lot of old people anymore. It's a very inexperienced roster in that sense. So it's a lot of pressure ends up on Cuban as well in that sense. Also on Snacks. Miyu, I think, are the two most experienced people on that squad. But I think that inexperience really plays a big role here. And then compare that to even an Avangar that is also young and inexperienced. At least you have, on the top of that, you have a Dran that's just been playing Counter-Strike for so many years now. Is one of the most experienced people we have in the whole scene. Having him on a roster, like teaching these kids how to properly play the game on a pressure level. I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah.
It's like the ENS formula as well. You know, you had Alu and 4
absolutely.
newcomers. Maybe that's the
but
split. It makes sense.
Absolutely, and it's, you know, Vitality as well. You know, the ENS roster, you at least have, you know, have Twister as the coach as well. Also been, you know, an experienced player, has been around for a very long time. So I do think that that's the kind of way we're going nowadays with the older/younger generation. Nice little entry there from Adren.
Okay, we've got a huge fight all over the map, really, but mostly now around that second mid position. Headshots galore. And Snatchy's in a 1 versus 3. No P250 for him. Buster moving forward, gifting in the 1v1. The burst fire. Back to the single fire for Snatchy. He's got a minute 25. That was a big gamble taken. Didn't quite work out. And now maybe there is a chance. His legs have been spotted, though. 37 HP. Looking for the trade fragger, but he's nowhere close. And Adren will be able to finish off the job. 2 kills for him, 2 kills for Kika, 1 kill for James, 1 round for Avangar.
I like how Snatchy just assumed that Adren would just be leaving. It's like, okay, he shot me a few times, but he's going to leave now. I'm just going to walk back.
So Avangar with the start they wanted. I think this will be dangerous for VP. I think this will be quite dangerous. You know, you were curious about VP's T side, and we'll get to see that. But they decided to go for a force buy, and they've got lots of utility. But I feel like Avangar are going to be aggressive here. They've got all these SMGs. There's a deep incendiary. That allows a lot of aggression on the banana side of things. And the lineup is not too bad. Good damage done. James completely blind, has the support of Kika with the rifle. And they just are going to absolutely crush this force buy from VP. I wonder if they even understood that it was a force buy, because they didn't really get to see anything from VP.
Yeah, I don't think so. Considering they were both, Jamie was also very flashed, so I don't think he heard any actual bullets.
Okay, so the 2-0, now the full save. I would love to see Avangar just rush mid. Just like, I really like it when it's not just madness, but if there's method behind it as well. I really like to see that. Oh, we get another force coming in here from VP.
That's a super late force. That's actually going to hurt them, I think.
Yeah, this is scary. So this is the reason why they're doing it, I suppose, is because you do get these aggressions, like I was just mentioning, and wanting to see. Because you think, if you're thinking you're just against pure Glocks, it's totally fine. There's a Krieg. That Krieg is dangerous.
Oh, the Treasure's got a lot of information. That's a nice shot. And that doesn't tell him too much. PHR has no helmet and a deagle. Now they start to find clues. Is it just a hero AK? Did they hear the scope of the Krieg earlier on at the bottom of the ramp? Avangar, how long do they hold this position for? We see Miyu creeping as well. On Old Inferno, when you got to the corner, when you got to the edge of the cover there, it was a wooden panel before it, and you would be seen on the X-ray even though you couldn't actually see the player. Not the case on New Inferno now, but it's always nice to have the old obscure facts.
One of the things that Avangar has done well here is that, again, they just have fantastic reads. They're all going towards the A-bomb site right now, but also, like, they've killed a lot of time. And VP don't have any utility, and they only have 2 players with helmets. So if Avangar are in position, which they are, I think it's going to be very difficult for VP to break this. Now they're coming to the A-bomb site, and the push comes in. There's no flashbang there. That's actually going to help VP out. But here comes the MP5. It's doing some good damage. Finds a player, 2 players, but now Sack is going to do some damage as well. And it's just Veggie left. He's got 28 points of health, and the MP9 will save it. And there's no bomb plant. They did some damage, but is it enough?
Way too late buy call here from VP. I wouldn't have minded the call if it actually happened in the beginning, but because VP they were stuck in spawn for 5 extra seconds there. And with Avangar's call there pushing down,
you don't get any position whatsoever.
Exactly. I mean, it started off even poorly for him to begin with.
Yeah, you need to be clinical with your decision-making in that respect. Virtus.pro with 4 HE grenades. Are they all going top mids? No, maybe towards Banana. James will spot players heading this direction. So far, so good. Some more HEs being deployed, but 1 kill will be enough for now. There are still 2 players here for Avangars. There can often be 3 at the beginning of a round for the CT side towards Banana to set up and take position. Virtus.pro maybe gifting Avangar a really nice start to their Inferno, at least in terms of scoreline, but there is damage to be done. These flashbangs will be easily avoided by Sanji, and he's doing great work with the MP9, following up on his kills from the previous round.
Oh my god. Kiko's playing in front of the smoke. I feel like that's not necessary, but hey man, he's going to make it work, it looks like. He's got all the kills, except the last one. Ooh, this is a bit dangerous. James going to be cautious there. Smoke to fall back behind, but...
He's got a minute now. 1 versus 2 with a minute on the clock. He could pick up an AK-47. Staying with the MP9. The fast movement. Faking. James will do the bait. And this is allowing Adren to rotate towards Banana. He's got to commit to it this time. James knows though. Oh, the flash is there. These delays. Perfect from James. Just a few footsteps. No need to peek. And the round is taken. But it's an expensive one. Again, that was an eco. 3 players died.
I still can't believe Kika, who could have put the smoke down, played behind the smoke, and then the T still wouldn't have had much time, and he had no utility to break the bomb site, wouldn't know where he is. Still decides to play in front and goes for the kills.
It was 1v2 with a minute on the clock, so he certainly had time.
Okay, my mistake. But still, I respect it.
It's not something you expect, right? So I think it's smart in that sense. I think if they would have had weapons, it would have been even smarter. Like, oh my god, genius, right? But he does end up getting the 2 anyway.
2 AWPs for Avangar. Is this the first buy round for both teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full buy round. I mean, they bought the 3rd round as well, right?
Yeah, it doesn't get later than this. Ooh, headshot angle by the logs. Buster being greedy, but still delivering the kills. He wants to go back for the 2nd one, but it will eventually fall off. He is playing alone towards B, but Kikut's quickly there if needed. Now, on the T side, you might see Sanji burst out of Banana with a Mac-10 with pop flashes from the bottom of mid. Saw that at the major. It was pretty damn sick. And again, the SMGs for him are a choice rather than a necessity, designed this way. 3 players towards B. If Virtus.pro have some good timing here, then maybe there is something to be done.
Wall of smokes there. And there goes Snacks through into the pit position. Adren must have heard him though, indeed. He's got an elevated spot actually. He's playing this really well because Snacks might expect him to be behind this wall and he sees nothing. Easy kill for Adren. That's actually an amazing way to handle that position. James goes down, but the problem is that VP still don't have pits. And Akiko has a great angle there as well. It's a bomb on the ground. It's looking pretty desperate here. PHR will do what he can, but still, they are fighting from such a disadvantage here. Avangar have been really making things difficult. Veggie will collect the bomb, goes for the fake, wins the battle. Again, can he make this clutch work? He did it on Dust too, and he'll get the bomb planted.
1 versus 2. There's the 1, but where is the 2? That's the question for Veggie. Doesn't know what is around the corner on short. Perhaps it would be suicide for him to try and make a play there. He falls off the box as the sound cue to be had as well. There we go. Information known. 42 HP now. From the balcony, Sanji will get the last kill. The clean sheet is retained for Avangar. They make it to 5 now. Really strong start from them. Snacks not on the scoreboard just yet. Not what you like to see from him. Avangar starting strong on the CT side. Maybe with some of the choices from Virtus.pro has made it a little easier for them. But that is the first 5 versus Y1.
Yeah. Now at least we have full loss bonus on VP and the bomb down, so we're going to be seeing yet another purchase.
Maximum loss bonus. Plant the bomb, guaranteed a buy. I'm liking this knife. I feel like this knife for James is becoming iconic, like the butterfly for Fallen. Having a look-see. I like to make these plays as well. Flash over the roof. If you're on the bottom of mid, by that half wall, if you crouch, you can still see the person's hat and just wallbang them. So if you eat the flashbang and you're behind that little wall, you are screwed.
Oh, down there to the left, you mean?
Yeah.
How much damage James did? 50 on Snacks, almost 90 on Mihu.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. VP have top mid, but they don't have Banana. They kind of need to take Banana or at least throw a deep flash to deal with a player that's peeking, could be peeking from half wall. So really telegraphing A heavily here. And Avangar, again, they have Buster towards B. They have no reason to take 4 players off of A. And Kika, he's so sneaky, isn't he? Going towards the cubby. Slowing things down, knowing when the smoke will dissipate.
He's funneling them into the other 3 CT players. And there's so many places to look. James getting just a free reign of this bomb site. The bomb is even further away from the bomb site, and he's still having to go so much support. Avangar on the CT side looking really damn strong. Mihi with 14 HP, trying to catch James by double stack, who moves through the smoke and lands another frag. 3 for him. Avangar, how do they know?
I mean, this one is going to start getting really difficult for VP. You see the, I was going to say inexperience, but this is something that you really don't want to happen on Inferno. You don't even have banana control like Dan was saying. You're always going to end up fighting against 4 people on the A-bomb side here. And with Avangar having so much money, it's so much utility that they're going to have to like try and remove. So for VP, I would like to see a little bit more of a default. Take over banana, you really need it. Waste some more utility on them. There we go.
Still holding things down. Nice fade away from Kika. Not fighting to the death there. But he wants to re-aggress because it doesn't make sense. He shouldn't re-aggress, so he does. This time it doesn't work out for him, but you can understand the play.
And VP may think that there's not another player on the bomb site. But at the same time, Kika's play is so mad, you start to ask the question, would he do that without someone being there to support on the site? So VP will take it slow, but the rotations come in through construction. That'll be Buster with the AWP.
He didn't throw a flashbang for his team, so I think Avangar might read that with Buster showing presence with the Molotov and so on, they might not realize that there is a 3rd person on the site and not even check for this. So they're playing against the bomb plants at this point, playing to win the round. Out comes the AK, and it's Sanji, of course, creating some space with a smoke grenade, but he won't be able to do anything more. 2 versus 2. Now we've got the rotation from Adren making his way towards CT. There's a Molotov, there's a HE. They can deploy the molly for the dark spot from the construction. No one's there for now.
So it get pretty difficult for Avangar. This post-plant positions now for VP. They've got 2 flashes on Snags, who is from Banana. So that's somewhat ideal. Oh, that's nice. Found an incendiary. That's going to be very, very helpful. Now Snags gives his position away. The 1v1, the flashbangs come out. Is there a way that Snags can do this? Doesn't have to peek with that flashbang. Just trying to delay, trying to play the time. And he's doing a great job of it. Adren can't find it. Snags finishes it off, polishing off Adren with that headshot. And that will be the first round for VP. But it was a labored one. And everyone except Snags dies.
Yeah, it does work out. The 1 round VP, not the 1 round, but the first weapon round at least. They take over banana. Was another aggressive player from Avangar. But yeah, they're on the board with very little money to use. Get a little on veggie.
Watching some of these Avangar plays, I feel like the comms must be so clear for them. Yeah. Because I think by default, when that CT rotates towards the well position, I think that a lot of CTs are throwing the flash deep into the site so their teammates can peek, but I think they read the situation that VP don't necessarily realize, and perhaps there is a stronger card to play. So they're not quick to dump utility in that respect, and will play for the long-term strong advantage.
I think you're absolutely right about that communication. I think that's something that we will be able to see when we see Fours play later as well. They also have to have excellent communication. Just to how quickly they react as a team. Really good protocols for sure. Aha! Smoke immediately. And they're just going to go through this. It seems there's 3 players here for Avangar.
This is so weird the way, yeah. VP is playing T-side here on Inferno is so weird because this is yet another round where they don't have any map control. They just decide to want to execute onto the B bomb site.
Yeah, it's not really going to work out, is it? We'll see if they get the kills though. In comes the push. Buster playing the distraction for Sanji. He deletes 2 players with the MP9. That's a great start. There's one on the boost as well. That wasn't bad enough. And they are getting wiped out. Beautiful defense. And absolutely, you're right, Robin. 2 times now, VP have created an incredibly telegraphed play, given Avangar more than enough time to rotate and set up.
Yeah, that entire time, Jane was in a short position under the porch. And
he heard nothing.
If you have a sniper in that position, that's so much information because he's covering arch and short alone. And he needs to be denied that spot. And often if you have an aggressive sniper near short, they'll often re-aggress because it can be so strong for them. But he didn't need to. He was just standing there the whole time.
It's a huge leak in the T side for sure. It's like one of those things where you're surprised to see it because at this Inferno is such a it's been around for so long, and it's always been like this. Like it's been like this for years.
Yeah.
These dynamics, like it's the basic of it's the point of the default. It's to take away map control so that CTs cannot stack something, and then they have to play into top mid to get the info to know what's going on. And then there's a whole dynamic about how you maybe try to punish information plays, understanding when teams will go for information plays, understanding the window of time you have where they still don't know what's going on and how quickly you must then have to move. There's so many dynamics on that layer, but we don't even see VP playing to that layer at all.
Yeah, no, like you're saying, it's just the one layer right now. And don't get me wrong, I mean, there's some cases in which you can just go straight for an execute.
Yeah.
But here, if you're Avangar, the game is read very easily because you haven't done any of that.
Yeah.
You've literally you're not even making any noise. It's not even about wasting utility to get your CTs to waste utility, but you're not even showcasing yourself anywhere. Again here, another entry here from Jamie on the banana bomb site. This has happened before, but yeah.
Yeah, Buster taken out there, tight corner. Wasn't able to pull the trigger, and Snatchy moves very, very forward. Now, CTs can't really hit it from their position. Well, they're too focused on the other things, but there we go. Kikert is rotating towards CT. There is a T in Arch looking at the Speedway position. In the meantime, no check on the site. Sanji, he's been a pain in so many positions, Virtus.pro. They've got Veggie in the pit, and it seems that Kikert's managed to go past Snatchy. I don't know. I think Snatchy had the sound cue, so this is going to be very, very strange. Veggie with a lot to do, but there's another player on the site. It's Kikert, of course, who went past Snatchy earlier on, and now Snatchy is left alone. But they don't know where he's coming from. He did not concede his position. He may catch Kikert off guard, indeed he will. No idea where James is, walking through the apartments, and there is the final frag. 9-1 for Avangar, no bomb plant for Virtus.pro.
I want to make another quick comment as well about something I saw that was really cool. I don't know if it was FaZe doing it to Avangar or the other way around, but talking about this information place and know where to stack your players, I saw like one of these two Avangar or FaZe playing this map in Moscow, and there was this really cool moment where we saw the default come in, the T side took top mid control, they took banana control, and then, because normally it's like banana control, then top mid control. Then what happened was they disappeared, the T side disappeared from top mid, and there was a timing where the CTs made an info play and saw nothing top mid. Now they're thinking it's going to be B. But then immediately, again, I don't know if it's Avangar or FaZe, they set that up so that they're waiting for the info play, and then for the call of that rotation, then they retake top mid without the CTs realizing, and then they have a 5 versus 2. And I was
it sounds like something Avangar would do, knowing how well they do the rotations. But you're right. I mean, that's the whole thing. Absolutely.
Yeah. And you can also know how you can actually have those setups can be telegraphed. Oh, sorry, rather the info plays can be telegraphed in some senses because it's like boom, the one flashbang. You hear that one flashbang, you know what that CT team is trying to do in that spot, and you know what their reaction is based off what they see or do not see. So I love those layers. It's so fun to watch because we get to see the overlay. We get to see,
Yeah, for us it's easy, like we see though, like you're saying, we see the reaction from the one flash that one guy rotates, for example. But all these guys, they're just trying to read the game, right? So that's why normally you have that secondary caller on your team as well.
And here's
someone that drops off.
Here's the common dilemma too. So the CTs smoke deep banana. So a lot of teams won't actually ever challenge or like try to keep the CTs honest here, because the CTs can have 1 player there, 2 players there. You can't know, and you have to force them to be honest. Otherwise, we see the rotation happening now. In comes Kikert, 4 stacked on A. Are VP going to do anything towards banana? We have to wait and see.
Library smoke. Buster. Is there going to be a flash from his teammate? Well, it won't come fast enough if there is, or maybe it will. There's still time. Oh my god, Kikert absolutely massacrates? Decimates. Let's just leave it there. Decimates everybody. God, I ruined that one, didn't I? What was I thinking of? I was thinking of 2 words at once. Massacres and decimates. There we go.
Masticate.
Do you know what? That is a really weird brain fart that I have, where I'm thinking of 2 different words and I say half of both of them. Yeah. I do that a lot. That's like
you're lazy, James.
That's like my biggest issue is like just saying 2 words at once.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for years. It's so hard to stop doing it.
But that
massacates. It was almost something else.
But that's a round in which VP have top mid for free. There's a smoke on banana. You can just throw some flashbangs. Maybe they're playing someone deep. Maybe they're not though. Most of the time you're not. And so, but at least like 1 flashbang, and then delay things a little bit. just force a guessing game, so the arch side hold is not as strong. You know?
Yeah. And in most cases, after this eco, you're probably going to see a timeout, which, I mean, it's too late now, right? For a good team, when you do notice the tendency, you have to, like, kind of call the timeout right away and just talk about it. I think for VP Send here, it's going to be 11-1. The timeout will be called. And then a discussion will be made of, like, hey, we're not doing anything on the map. Like, it's been 12 rounds, and we've done nothing.
It's like, oh, they always have 4 players wherever we go. So it's like,
Like, we haven't even done a single default. It's been execute into eco into execute. Even if it's been, like, somewhat working, even last round, it could have the potential to work, but you're kind of missing the timing window, like you're saying. We see the aggressive players coming banana. You kind of have that, like, 15-second window before they rotate over.
There's a really big green light for Snax. A dab hand of the AWP. Nice headshot into Keycut. And there is so much position now. He was patient, and it paid off. Another peek, another frag, and all of a sudden things are turning around. But this is only the second round for Virtus.pro. And, the money's not great for Avangar, so they could aim for 5. They should aim for 5, for sure.
It's funny, because the stuff that we were talking about, Avangar actually didn't really hard check Banana, but they threw the same nades, and Snax crept past the smokes, so James doesn't realize that he's behind that wall. He thinks that they haven't entered Banana yet. So then obviously he's alone, because what they've been doing is just playing one player there whenever they get that scenario, so they can stack one side of the map. So actually, that stuff we were criticizing VP for actually backfires massively for Avangar this round, because they didn't hard check Banana.
Yeah, Caster Curse.
Masticates would have worked as well.
Yeah.
What was it?
Masticates is like to chew food and crush food with your mouth. So, massacres, decimates, masticates. All would have worked, still messed it up. Avangar have some shortcomings now. Sanji on an MP9, maybe not one of them, but Buster on a Deagle certainly is. 2 plays in CT, an exchange of smokes.
Okay, so we have the player top
now
banana,
we have a
got
proper default. Phil, this is the first default we've seen.
Avangar have Keycut Adren moving around in the apartments. Oh my goodness, Sanji, look at him go. I was going to say that they're making plays here. They're not just sitting back and letting VP run the default. And this is good. Mihu makes a proactive play, a reaction to losing someone in the apartments, goes towards arch side, gets a pick. Now the round's on for VP.
And because they already have banana control for once, they actually have an option now, instead of just having forced to hit A.
Look at Sanji, though.
Yeah.
Sanji does not mess around. His awareness in situations like this is pretty sick. So he's starting to clear out the information. The problem is, how do you get players towards the B bomb site? They know that there's a T in CT spawn somewhere. But Sanji's starting to flank, so Buster can say, oh my god, there's Hellfire, maybe Brimstone as well, towards this bomb site, and Sanji starts to make his way, but they're still creeping. And his communication has to be clear. That's why he slows down. That's why he stops. Snatchy just around the corner. Is he going to be patient? He sees 2. He takes 1. There's the transfer. That's the bomb as well. 20 seconds. And there's a 3rd man rotating. Adren is on the way. Sanji's got flashes. He could try and buy time, but still, we've got Buster on the side with the Deagle. It's collapsing. The dream is collapsing like it's Inception. 8 seconds. He's got to find at least 1 more frag. Is he really going to commit to this? Sanji, of course, wants to swing wide the pre-fire. No bomb plant. And they're back in the bin once again.
One thing I think you can watch Avangar and just like marvel in is just how reactive they are. Like we're looking at VP and MVP in a lot of these rounds, they're not playing the info game correctly or anything like that. But as soon as they do it, as soon as they create problems, instant reaction for Avangar to find the information, to make plays, to not be in the dark.
I actually, I mean, VP thought they were safe from flank there because he was CT spawn. It's kind of weird because they were standing there for 35 seconds.
Yeah.
Brutal stuff. Avangar, they're just deeper. They've got deeper strats. They've got a deeper strat book.
Yeah, I mean, this is where you can clearly tell, you know, just how much more polished Avangar is, just even looking at their CT side, right? Like, they have answers for everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And just like you're saying as well, like, going for that information play, knowing, at least having some idea of where VP wants to execute. Maybe missing that shot, ends up getting flashed. But look at the reaction from Avangar here. 2 pushing up banana, going to be fast on the flank.
Always reacting.
Look at that.
It's beautiful, isn't it? He's got an MP9. Oh dear.
Oh, Keycut's there as well, but he's unable to get the frag. And now this thing's really weird. Snax is in a position where he could have actually heard that rotation from Sanji, where he's head over towards the bomb site, but this one is most certainly collapsing. James doesn't see anything because of the scope. And this is a big reset for Avangar. There's a chance for Virtus.pro to get 4 rounds, which I think would be quite something considering how these rounds have gone.
if Kika engaged first with the M4, they win the round. But
It's so funny.
Because, was it Sanji or whoever it was, engaged the MP9, long range, they lose the round. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Because that's 2 free kills, for sure, if you have a rifle.
No, absolutely. And again, VP is not holding flank again. They have no one but
Yeah. Exactly.
It's been a really weird T side, I feel like, for VP.
It does look like they don't understand how to play the basics of
Yeah.
Inferno, the theory at all.
I kind of feel like maybe they haven't had a lot of time on practice this so far.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, their Mirage looked really good. You know, they clearly have, that's a focal point for them. As James mentioned, it always tends to have been the case.
I think even those 2 actually wasn't all too bad, all things considered.
Yeah, yeah.
I think their CP side they struggled, but I think on T side they actually had somewhat of a decent approach.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not over yet. They can get a 4th here. Get the money rolling on CT side.
Oh yeah, so they finally caused money problems for Avangar. Okay, so what is Avangar up to? Because they have, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that they could try to do. And they've already got a big lead. I wouldn't be surprised to see a rush or something. We may see it here towards Banana. Oh no. Kiko will fall back at least. They could also make things really awkward. Okay, so Buster just saw nothing there fast on Banana. What do they choose to do? They're going for a stack towards A. So this is pretty interesting. You know, you have to gamble. So this is something that I like to see. I think sometimes teams aren't happy to gamble enough in certain positions. And so a 5-man stack at the A-bomb site, at least early where you have Sanji pushing, they're not hiding. This is beautiful. And he finds a great one-shot onto Snacks. Now what do VP do? They go towards Banana, and in comes a rotation again from Avangar.
Yeah, they saw nothing on Banana, but they saw nothing in apartments as well. They get a frag, and look at this rotation. Sanji just holding the rotation back towards A. And he'll pick up a weapon for his troubles as well, it seems, an AK-47. Buster on the side now. Is there a grenade for him? Doesn't need one. Actually, Adren with the flashbang. And they continue to deploy. They're just saying, look, the tunnel vision from Virtus.pro. This is absolutely crazy. Looked so good in the previous maps, but it's all falling apart here on Inferno. Sanji, again, he's been a thorn in the side. He really has caused them so many problems, and he just won't stop the HG for Veggie. Thank you. And oh no, he's still alive. Moves forward. And maybe there's a chance here, but Virtus.pro, disadvantage in every round, no matter the situation. 2v2, now the AWP for Sanji. Not getting anything done just yet. Jay with the CZ75. Both these players are low. It is the last run. They've got to go for this Avangar. Really difficult situation. Veggie takes a bullet. Does he go for the pistol now? Sanji. It will be a 4th round, a much needed round for Virtus.pro, and it will be a relief for them that half is over.
Yeah, they're actually lucky to win that round almost. We'll talk more about it after this short break. We'll see if VP can turn things around on that CT side. Stay with us. And we're back in action. Avangar. This is map 3. They're looking to take this one with ease. They had a great first half, and now they're looking to finish things off on the T side. Do VP have anything to say about it? Well, we get a quick mid-push off of the first round of the second half, and Mihu's going to draw first blood, so that's not a bad look for the Poles, but there's the return.
The exchange continues. Sanji's got a USP now. Lucky him. Snacks caught off guard. Oh, Adren pulls a knife out. Not expecting Kikert to be there, but he's managed to fall back. Sorry, PHL, what am I talking about? Hello, back in the room. Snatchy rotates towards the world position, but there's no commitment from Avangar. Tries to block the smoke, and he's given himself a chance. That might be a one-way.
It looks like it is, right?
It does look like it.
It might take them a while to figure it out, but now it's Virtus.pro's turn to be active on the CT side. Veggie with a flank. They're trapped now. PHR goes fishing, but nothing's biting the hook just yet. Hiding in plain sight as they try to take the site. Avangar, and it's just going back and forth all the way. 2v2 now.
Yeah, it's really difficult to know which way this one's going to go. Bomb will go down, though. That will guarantee some money, but there's a challenge. Snatchy is going to have to deal with Jame first, and that's so important. Jame, he will die. They'll lose the round, but Jame protected the bomb to go down, and that's the money in the bag. And given maybe what Avangar... Maybe Avangar, in seeing that T side of VP, maybe they feel like they can go for a force buy here and just rely on VP not being so strong at their Inferno game as they were on Dust 2 and Mirage. We'll have to see. But force buys in a round like this is pretty cool to see. Avangar have all kinds of different buys that they show you. Sometimes it's the single AK, which we're going to see on Kikert. So it looks like this will be it. And they're dangerous with this. I really like these buys. You know, this was very much a CIS type strat, but it's become, especially with people realizing how strong the Krieg is, we're seeing more of this adopted by every other team now.
See more of a buy than we initially thought. 3 armors.
I kind of like this actually, just because it is actually extremely strong. If you know how to use these weapons, and you have options on the next round because you're the T side, so your buys are less expensive, and you can purpose build the round based on what you have. Oh, Mihu's in trouble if he's staying out there. Where's the trade? There it is. Kikert's in there with the action. Snatchy tries to make it work in the apartments, but the Nova fails him. Uh-oh. Everything's gone wrong for VP.
Love a Nova.
Yeah, even an MP9 there you got to kill.
VP tried to do this to Avangar on their first half, but if you remember, they went for 2 force buys, but they failed. Jones picked up the Nova, indeed. Going to be interesting if he can do anything with that.
That's a fun little stat there. 5 entry kills this game. His average is 4.3, so a little bit above his average so far.
I'm actually not sure on overall what the statistics look like at the very top level, because of course we have to remember that he's an AWPer as well. He's a dedicated AWPer of the team, and they set him up quite a lot. So but yeah, it's a desperate, dark, gloomy place for VP, losing the second round, and their money's in the bin. And if they decide to do nothing here, Avangar will get 13 rounds. So Avangar will be in a position to basically almost be over the finish line before VP can even have a proper buy.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they've split pistols, well, in the last 2 maps. I do not recall the first one. But what is it good for? 7-round lead for Avangar. This is a big round, an opportunity they do not want to lose. Snacks looking for a T to jump onto the logs, but Avangar are looking for Snacks in which to give them grenades. Still alive for now. Kevlar saving him, I'm sure. Mihu looking for a grenade towards the car position. Veggie taking some damage towards A. Sanji lurking, being a problem as always. Avangar will have 3.5 men to go towards this B-bomb site.
Peppering that smoke. Buster looking to get a dink. Very cheeky indeed. 2 players and no helmets actually for Virtus.pro. Don't often see a Silence M4 on the T side. And Avangar are just hanging out. The thing is, so we see that VP have the information though. They see top mid is clear. This is something that we criticized of VP on their T side, that they were not forcing the CT side to be more in the dark. And Avangar, they're just going to go for the set piece. And they have a superior utility and weaponry, so they probably don't care too much. And they will get the entry kill. Keycut opens it up.
Avangar starts across. There is a response to the shooting through the smoke. That will be enough of that. Thank you very much. Adren trying to find the elevated bomb plant position. More cover, as you can see, from the wall versus in front of the coffins. One to think about at home. Keycut with all of 1 HP. Maybe doesn't hear Veggie just yet. In the meantime, we have Miyu in construction, taking Jame out, and eventually... Oh, okay. Well, this has turned around, hasn't it? All of a sudden, Virtus.pro are in 2 versus 2. Make it 1. Where is Sanji? Hiding behind the pillar. Looks like he's been spotted. They're lining up for him. How on earth has Virtus.pro won that?
I do not know. That is kind of ridiculous. I think it comes down to that massive bait setup on the car on top banana. That's where it seemed to all go wrong. How did Veggie even get the kill there on Kika?
That's a nice little flick.
That's beautiful too.
That's really crazy.
Oh, man. I don't think he knew he was there at all either.
No.
Yeah.
It's a massive bait setup. And it's crazy too, because if you keep a player alive on banana in that round, in the 1v1, it's just over for VP. They just can't, they don't have a kit, so it's just done at that point. So that's pretty mad. But the problem is they have to win this follow-up round, and they don't have a lot of utility. 2 players without any at all. And Avangar going fast towards banana. Kika looking to open things up. The double nades come in. The fire comes in as well. Down to 37 health. Going to be backing out of there. And you know,
decision.
As far as the damage is, damage being done, sure, VP have won. However, Avangar didn't decide to invest everything into banana, so they can always retake that position.
Yeah, I think Keycut realized there would be more grenades to come. They're not all deployed at the beginning, so could have been blown to pieces.
And there's one.
Wide swing up top. Nothing doing just yet.
And I think that Buster was definitely close enough to hear that flashbang. He knows what that means. Flashbang of their own. And that will force VP to have another player back towards banana again. So VP playing the 2-3 setup. They don't know what's going on. This is the timing where you'd expect the top mid take to come in, but obviously we can see that's not happening. So there's a small window of time where VP still don't know what's happening until they see the push come in. Here it is, and it's too late.
Yep, Snatchy had vision top mid, but again, what more is there to do? It's all on PHR. Is there a flash? Snatchy, here's the flash bang. Is it going to work though? No, it's avoided by Sanji. They don't have the angle, and it will make things more expensive. If they lost PHR earlier, they'd probably survive with 3 players saving here, but it will be 2 for Virtus.pro at best. We can see Keycut's lurking with the Mac-10, having switched with Sanji earlier. Switching weapons, switching roles. Keycut in Sanji mode. We'll see if he can live up to the name of the legend. Virtus.pro with half the score of their opponent, and Avangar reset them again. We haven't seen a consecutive round just yet in the second half. Now that does not favor Virtus.pro for a number of reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Avangar here on the hunt. Hopefully if VP's lucky here, they survive with both weapons, but...
It was cool to see, Avangar, they didn't really push there. Like, some teams you find will delay things too much. Because VP had... they had the ability to see top mid, but because there had been, because they don't know whether Avangar is running a default or not, they don't know yet whether the information they have means that they should rotate someone yet. But if Avangar would have waited maybe like 5-10 more seconds before executing in, it's likely VP would have understood that to have another player there.
7-round deficit now. It's getting ropier and ropier for Virtus.pro. An exchange of grenades. Keycut, you're happy with 70 HP, all things considered. There was a lot of shrapnel going his way. And again, we've got more grenades and a pop flash play to come. You can see it lined up on the aerial. Good to know. But what effect will it have? You can see Miyu will be the point man. Waiting for T-grenade to come first. Is he going to go through the flames? The smoke grenade will be deployed. It was a little higgledy-piggledy, and it won't work for Virtus.pro. They have 2 smokes and a flash remaining, and 1 rifle.
And back they go, rotating back around towards A. There's 2 players there set up in pits. It's actually pretty cool to have 2 players in pit like this. We'll see if it works out for VP. But you can see Avangar, the best way to deal with that is by taking Arch and attacking through this position, because that way you can clear the site much more easily. and you're not funneled through that porch position. So, and you can also get the high ground here. Nice defense from Veggie, though. Oh, he's done a really good job. He's taking down 2. They don't even know where the next player is just yet. Snatchy has a big opportunity. I think he must have been spotted there, surely. He runs, he knows, but he can't win the battle.
Bomb being planted. What do you do, Virtus.pro? They could pick up a second rifle from somewhere and concede the round, or they could lose everything. I think those are the choices. Round win, not among them. PHR and library for now. So we
Shame,
will
another
see.
close round here from VP. Veggie actually did a really good job there in playing that pit position, but because rotation from VP was a little bit too slow, even if, or when he ended up going down, we still had that guy, Snacks rather, was all the way down banana still, so. A little bit of a shame, timing-wise, not really on VP's side. Nice little shot there as well.
Kika is 26 for 13. Sanji 21 for 13. They're killing it right now.
Yeah, here we go. We see the same segment. Yeah, look, Snacks still not pushing banana here. This is now when he starts moving, and you see it's a little bit too slow.
You gotta hit the gamble.
Yeah, as soon as Snatchy goes down here, like now because you're not in position to even trade anything, it's still a really tough situation here for VP. It's a 2-on-2 situation with bomb about to go down. So,
and it feels like I think when you play Avangar, it must feel like you never know if there's a lurk somewhere, because they love to pause and rotate all the time. So it's like, you know, hard to know sometimes.
Look at the activity from Virtus.pro. Desperate times, desperate measures, and all that. But Avangar are expectant, more polished Avangar, and perhaps we're seeing some of the shortcomings in the map pool for Virtus.pro and what we've seen here on Inferno. Again, it's so common that you would like to see more, but indeed there were a lot of holes in the Swiss cheese of Virtus.pro in this game.
Yeah, I think it's like Robin said, you know, they had a really good chance to win that Dust 2, and this would be over already, and Avangar would have lost. But we get to that third map, and we start to see the quality of Avangar.
How about that for some quality? Snacks almost with 2 through the smoke. Sanji looks away just the wrong time, but he's able to recover. Looking for the lurkers, looking for the players, showing some presence, but now things are going from bad to worse. The P250 putting in work, and that's the bomb dropped now. Virtus.pro, another unlikely situation where they're somehow managing to stay alive. The bomb falling into the crawl space. Snatchy now trying to play the double peek. Awkward though. Buster, got to be super careful. That's one way to do it. Veggie up, Veggie down.
What a play.
How upset are you with Snatchy there, man? It just drops.
Like a brick.
And then if you Veggie too, obviously you want to trade, but he crouches right away, so you don't even get the headshot angle. Oh, man.
That's just
tough,
so funny.
Man.
Yeah, it is.
But you're right. I mean, this is why, for me at least, why I just always would prefer best of 3. So it honestly has nothing to do with the upset potential of a best of 1 map. It's just more so of, you know, VPS play good, but have it being prepared on 2 maps rather than 3 maps. I mean, it's a big difference. Yep. Especially when it comes down to these the third map will always tend to be less puggy in that sense. Going to be more strategical. So, whereas for Mirage and sure, Mirage is a little bit difficult, but you know, Dust 2. Even if you don't have a lot of strats, you can still make it work somehow. But Inferno is a little bit more difficult when teams actually have proper setups. Very difficult map to play on the T side if you don't know what you're doing versus these good teams.
And this is a pretty scrappy one. James actually has the bomb. Can't see it on the radar for some reason, but he's going to ferry that one over towards the A bomb site. So they'll have a plant. But it's a 3v3 here, so VP have an opportunity to keep themselves alive. Avangar would win the series and move forward to the semis if they win this one for week 1. And the setup here is quite strong for Avangar. It's not really the retake utility. Good damage there onto Mihu, making it a bit harder. Sanji's waiting for the perfect moment. It's all about the bait. Once they get so far, they're committed. Out comes Sanji to finish it all off. And there it is, Snacks close range. Can he finish this off with the 1v1? Snacks pushing very close to Graveyard. Up the stairs, Sanji goes, and he'll secure it. 16-6. Avangar move through to the semis.
Sanji top of the scoreboard, but not in kills. Kikat's over 27, but always nice to see. Avangar, I think, over the long run, of course, like the longer a series goes on for, the more that the skill should prevail. And Avangar, I think it was just a great exhibition, if you will, in some of the things we saw from them. their read of the game, their summary of the climate, the plays they made, and so on, proactive and reactive in all the best ways. I really enjoyed it. And from the Virtus.pro perspective, we saw promise from them. They won a game of Mirage, which they've often threatened to do with some of their new rosters, but they seem to have grown there. But towards the end, we see that there are some shortcomings at the moment in their map pool.
But definitely a team that has the upset potential, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, they were a little bit unlucky. Let's say VP ends up playing against even a Fnatic here with 2 new players, end up being on a maps like a Mirage and Dust 2. Actually, it could be, it could be a win on that side.
Oh,
but
agreed.
you end up playing against one of the best teams in the world currently, right? In Avangar. Again, we talked about it coming in 2nd place at the major, just won Blast 2 days ago, coming in here, and you're forced to play a best of 3 versus these guys. I mean, it's difficult.
Yeah, it really is. And are we in an ad break?
Frames with games, Dan. Frames win games.
Nice.
Well, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, I had no idea what's going on. Anyway, here we go. Back to this is what I was expecting to see. And we can see both Kika and Sanji had a really good time. Kika was super active, as was Sanji. And, as mentioned, Sanji's just a really strong player. He's often going to be in positions where he's going to sacrifice himself. He won't have Kevlar, he'll drop the AWP, he'll play the worst gun, he'll be on the bomb sites by himself, but he's a really good player, and we really saw that show here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was. I think we saw some good performances from both teams. I think the B bomb site AWPs on a CT side for both teams on Dust 2 were pretty cool as well. But indeed, ultimately, it will be Avangar moving forward. I do believe we're going to see an updated bracket to see how the results have been around the bracket, obviously, because Fnatic went 2-0 versus Heretics on paper. Should have been a strong result for them, and it turns out that it will be, despite the very new additions. Again, there is an interview with Golden to be had. We'll try and squeeze it out somewhere a little later on, and Avangar will be facing Fnatic. So that's going to be a huge test for the new look Swedish side. So we look forward to seeing them a little later on. Now, I do believe we have an HyperX X Factor of the game to have from that series, and I just sincerely hope it's not that part where I mess up all my commentary.
We'll see.
Or it's just a pistol round, one kill or something.
Oh yeah, that comes in there every now and then.
Yeah, when you least expect it.
Here and there. All right, HyperX X Factor, show me the money.
Ah, yes. The 1v4 from Veggie. This is a really awesome clutch.
Almost killed himself.
Yeah. Did he take any damage from that? No, he did not.
Oh, I thought he did. Maybe he didn't almost kill himself then. But it was a very, very solid play. He had to be fast, and he was through the corner of the box. Congratulations, Veggie. For the new season, you get the first HyperX X Factor play of the match. So congratulations to you. And indeed, we have a lot of more Counter-Strike coming your way very shortly indeed. We are slightly behind schedule, so we will head to a break. When we're back, there's going to be more Carnage, and Forza, I believe, are making an appearance, which will be very... You know what? I think you should just host the rest of the show today, because I can't speak English anymore there. We'll see if that happens after the break. We'll see you back here soon.